Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to The Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
Welcome back to a Changing Stage radio show episode. We are powered by WS Radio Networks as well as brought to you by MusicPower.com and Music Trader for at least a little bit longer, right?
Yeah.
I'm here with my co-host today, and we're going to be actually doing a segment with him, Mr. Ryan Burke. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome, sir. This is a great day. It's actually a little off schedule for us because we usually roll on a Saturday, but today we've got a special guest. He's going to be performing here in San Diego on Saturday, so we're calling him right now and getting him online. Schedules are always crazy for these touring musicians, but Mr. Rick Braun is going to be on with us, and I'm pretty excited about that. He's an amazing trumpet player. Started off with the band War, and it's a pretty big honor for him to be on the show.
Awesome.
Yeah. So while we're waiting for the call to come in, Ryan, tell the people what you do, because I got a chance to experience a little bit of your world yesterday.
Well, I'm a podcaster. I've got a show called 60 Cycle Hum, and basically we talk about the used gear market, like used guitar stuff, used pedals, amps, whatnot, all the stuff that guitarists get excited about. And every week my co-host and I get together and we talk about kind of the stuff that we've been buying and selling. And then the format of the show is that after that, we talk trash about some Craigslist ads or eBay ads that we have found throughout the week. And then we hit like a topic. And we're just a little like podcast operation, record out of my house. It's not an impressive studio like this.
But it's all about the content, man. It's always about, it's about, hey, Mark Maron has an incredible radio show podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And he does it right out of his garage. Very similar.
I've written him a couple times, like, hey, come be on my show. So far, he hasn't gotten back to me.
Mark Maron's a pretty good guitar player, it turns out.
Yeah, he is. And I want to talk to him about gear. Like, I just want to have him on the show just to talk about gear and not even talk about, like, his whole celebrity and all of that, Yeah,
that would be awesome. I mean, there's a few. I don't know, did Fear Factor guy, did he start off in a garage, or was it always...
just like a living room or something.
That's crazy. So I mean, it does happen. We see that from time to time, and you grow. We started off here kind of in a kind of a roundabout way. I wasn't a radio show host. I'm a musician like the rest of us are, and the owner Wade Taylor just said, "Hey, I want to do a music show. You're the guy." I'm like, huh? So,
well, it's those pipes, man. You've got a great voice.
Well, I don't know about that. I just, I like to talk a lot. So
No. When you came over last night, my wife heard you talking in the other room, and she came in and she was like, "Okay, he's got a great voice. This is going to be a good episode."
Did he sing "You're Beautiful" to her?
That's my shtick. Don't reveal it, Paul. Don't reveal it. So looks like we might be bringing Rick on for the next segment here, as touring musicians are always busy. So let's kind of roll into what more about what Ryan does. How'd you get started in the music side of things, man?
Just in playing music, or as the podcast goes?
Yeah, just the passion. Where did that come from?
Well, my story is that when I was a teenager, I was hanging out with some friends, and a friend of mine was learning to play guitar, and he showed me how he's learning how to play "Smells Like Teen Spirit." And I watched him go through the motions, and I was like, I had that thought click in the back of my head, like, shoot, I could do that. That looks easy. And my mom had a guitar that she got in the 70s that had been in the closet forever. And so I just busted it out and started playing and kind of fell in love with it, and just self-taught myself. I took a couple lessons here and there, but it's one of those things where you just fall in love with, a hobby or, a skill, and you just go for it. And I've been playing guitar ever since, and playing in bands and stuff, and doing all kinds of different projects. I used to run an all-ages venue around town. I've just been trying to stay in the music scene for the past what is it, like 20 years or something.
Yeah, you mentioned before that it was downtown.
Kind of in the North Park area on the corner of Park and El Cajon. It's not there anymore, but
Okay.
I ran it was an all ages kind of independent venue. I ran it for about 3 or 4 years. It was called the Park Gallery.
Park Gallery. Okay,
Yeah.
very cool, very cool. So you did that. You got your start with music. Kurt Cobain was like, I could do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I just watched my friend move power chords around the fretboard, and I was like, that looks so simple, and it's recognizable, and everyone loves that song right now. I could do that.
Now, your passion has been, like you said, use gear and trying to, to find that gem that's on Craigslist or eBay.
Well, being a musician is part of it. The other part of it is just this impulse to always be buying new stuff and always trying new stuff. And
we don't know anything about that, do we, Paul?
There's so much equipment out there, and you just want to play with all of it. And so my co-host and I on the podcast,
Mr. Steve.
Mr. Steve Rao.
We're going to shout out to Stevie Boy. What's going on, brother?
We had always been, for years and years, we both worked desk jobs, and we just message each other all day long on the computer, like talking about different ads that we see for used pieces of gear, or whatever new gear is on the market. And we're just talking back and forth. And then we started listening to podcasts, and it just clicked, like, we're already talking about all this stuff.
Yep.
We should just record it, and other people might enjoy it. And so far, that's been the case. We've got hundreds of listeners, and a lot of people really interested in us, and they send us gifts and stuff and all kinds of interesting things.
Hey, we haven't gotten any. Well, actually, we did. We got the tequila that one time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we have because of a potential sponsor.
Oh, sure.
Ogilvy is a great. Well, Paul loves that stuff. I don't drink, but
I like tequila.
Steve and I are kind of craft beer guys. I mean, we like hard liquor here and there too, but our listeners have sent us all kinds of different beers through the mail, which I don't know if that's legal or not, but I'm just receiving it. So
it's been recorded. We can hold them hostage now. We want free airtime on your show.
Okay.
Yeah. So I kind of getting back on the music side of things here. So you've been doing this. You play in bands, right? You've got
Absolutely.
You've got your own band that you play with.
I've got an instrumental surf rock band right now called Dinosaur Ghost. And we were talking, it sounds like we have like one of your band members plays in another band with one of my band members, possibly.
Yeah.
In a
so incestuous around here.
I know, in an Elvis Costello tribute band.
Yeah, I can't think if there's any more than one in town.
No, there can't be.
That would be it'd be like there's 5. What are you talking about? There's so much Elvis Costello band work.
It's a big market, the whole Elvis Costello tribute
that
scene.
that and Michael Jackson. Those two are the big tribute bands / impersonators. So I think that's awesome, man. That's pretty inspiring. Like I said, you guys, if it wasn't for Wade pushing my buttons, I probably wouldn't have thought I could do a radio show. So we were very blessed to have such a gracious owner of this company and giving us some space to do our music thing.
Absolutely. He seems like such a nice guy, just talking to him the little bit that I did.
He's a real nice guy. He's a sharp man. He the vision that he has here has been really powerful. So, in fact, I'm now full time here. So that's kind of
awesome.
I started off doing the Microsoft thing, and kind of using that to pay the bills to be the band member, pay $5,000 to get the gear, to put in a $1,500 car, drive 500 miles to do a $50 gig. Or
you have a $1,500 car? That sounds nice.
So, yeah, I think it's amazing how things kind of work out and the way the industry is. Now, what are some of the plans? Speaking of that, what are some of the plans you have for your podcast?
Well, the big thing coming up is that we're going to go to NAMM for the first time ever. Ooh. Coming up in January. That was kind of a big motivation for me to even start doing this thing. It's like, hey, if we do a podcast, maybe we can go to NAMM and get press passes and have that whole experience, because I'd always seen all the videos and pictures of people going, and it always just looked like so much fun.
It's a blast, yeah.
A big old blast, I bet. So we're going to go to that. A ton of our listeners are going to be there because we have a lot of listeners who are part of the industry, basically. Yeah. So we're going to do some meetups and hang out with people and just experience it, And we're going to take a camera guy along with us and kind of shoot the experience.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Me and Paul have been a couple of times. And I think the first time I ever seen Paul starstruck is when we were walking right next to Stevie Wonder.
Nice. Did you just like want to reach out and touch his
I
shirt?
wanted to, but he had 2 huge bodyguards with him, so I knew that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
It might have been worth it, you know.
Oh, I
End up in traction in the hospital. I touched him. It was worth it.
yeah, he's actually not the last time we went, but a couple of times before. He usually goes to the NAMM show, and I briefly said hi, Stevie, kind of thing, and shook his hand a long time ago. George Clinton, awesome.
Nice.
Met him. Actually, met him again over at AES this year. That's another one. It's a little bit different, but it's AES is the high end audio
Gotcha.
show, Audio Engineering Society. So those are coming up. We got about 40 seconds left. What would you like the people to know about your show?
Check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, or Podbean. Jump on the Facebook group and interact with us. We're a pretty healthy community on there. Anything else? Oh, we like to play songs from our listeners' bands while at the end of our shows. So track us down, email us an MP3 of your band's song, and we'll tack it on the end of an episode. I mean, we have not turned away any people yet. We play everything.
Awesome.
From the best stuff to the
I know
worst stuff.
you played ours last night. That's awesome.
Your stuff is ranked up there at the best. We play some pretty interesting things on there sometimes.
Awesome. Well, there's that sound, that music. This is the WS Radio Network bringing you Changing Stage Radio Show. My name is Florentino Buenaventura. I don't think I said that. I guess we got listeners. And, we are, here going to be bringing on Rick Braun here in a very short few minutes. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goli, one thing that you have helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get to the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
In the military, things can change in an instant. At Navy Mutual Aid Association, we understand because it's our life too. That's why our dedication to serving the life insurance needs of our military veterans and their families is unrivaled. Navy Mutual offers superior life insurance protection without military service restrictions and limitations. A single focus on providing the peace of mind military families are looking for. That's what we do. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Call 800-628-6011 or go to NavyMutual.org.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813. 888-6813.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
We are now into the second segment of the Changing Stage radio show, powered by WS Radio Networks and brought to you by MusicPower.com, Guitar Trader. And, I am so excited. We've got this tremendous guest that is now on with us. Mr. Rick Braun, are you there, sir?
I sure am. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, sir, for coming on our show. This is going to be great. You're traveling around the country right now, right?
I'm in Clearwater, Florida right now. I've been on the Peter White Christmas show. Been doing that for the last 11 years, and
wow,
we're playing a show tonight. Tomorrow we fly back to Oakland and we play at Yoshi's and Jack London Square, and then we go down to San Diego and play at the Balboa Theater, and a couple more shows after that, and then we're done for the holidays.
Well, that's perfect. In fact, I'm going to actually go out and see you at the show here. We're in San Diego. I don't know if Mr. Scott told you that. So we are definitely going to be pumping up your show coming up here on the 20th over at the Balboa Theater. So, you're out on tour right now to kind of support your new album. Can you feel it, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're playing the song back to back.
Yeah.
From the CD on the tour, and all three of us have new CDs out, Peter, Mindy, and myself. And so, the new single, Back to Back, that features Brian Culbertson, it's I think sitting at number 4 or so on the charts right now. So it's awesome. Working its way up there.
Yeah, we were fortunate to have Brian here back in the summertime. He's an amazing talent and just the nicest guy ever. So I bet you guys have a great time out on the road. Is what everybody thinks? When you get these great musicians and you're out there making this just impassioned music, what's that experience like for you guys?
Well, it's a lot of fun. I mean, you're right. We're like family. We're like family. We have known each other for many, many years. Peter and Mindy and I go way back, and I helped Brian find his house. My realtor, who I bought my house with, he came out and stayed with me when he was living in Chicago, and we were both on Mesa Blue Moon, and he was looking for a realtor, so I referred him to my guy, and he still owns that house. That's where his studio is. We're all like family. We've all played on each other's records. We all enjoy each other's company, and it's a good thing. It's a very nice thing. Very nice.
Yeah, and I think that's amazing. We see that from time to time where when you get these groups that collaborate and help to raise each other up, that they just do these remarkable things, in at least in this industry, and probably in other ones. So I'm definitely blown away with that. You know what I like to do, because I don't know if Mr. Scott got a chance to tell you that our show is all about, the music industry. The people who are listening are all in the music industry. They're all looking for that next way to kind of get to where they want to go in this business. How did you get your start? Where did you, what was that first spark, that passion that drove you to want to play trumpet?
Well, I don't know if there's a first start. It's a cumulative thing. I mean, I guess when I found my brother's trumpet in the closet in my house when I was 8 years old, my brother had played trumpet and quit playing and went into sports, and he left his trumpet behind, and I found it up in the closet and put the mouthpiece in and started getting notes out of it straight away, and kind of fell in love with the horns. So on a trumpet level, that was when it started. I was 8 years old.
Wow. Now, did you play in the elementary school bands, or did you play in high school bands?
I played in all of that. I was in the high school, in the elementary school band. Back when I was a little guy, you had instruments that were loaner instruments in the classroom, and I think they still have that at the middle school level now, at least in California. But they had it, when you were 8, they would offer you an instrument, and you most of the kids took clarinet because they had a lot of clarinets in the school closet. So, but trumpet was harder to come by, so I was glad I had one at home.
Yeah.
And I played in every band possible, and I was in choir, and I was in the drama. I was the lead in the high school play. I was tennis player. I was doing a lot of stuff, and I've always kind of been a ham, to be honest with you. When me and my brother were little kids, we set up a stage on one of the staircases in our row home in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and we hung a curtain. Somehow we managed to hang a curtain across it, and we'd have my niece and nephew. They came over, and we'd put on a show. We didn't have any particular things we were doing back then. Maybe I'd play a couple of notes on my trumpet because I was just starting out.
Yeah.
But, I think I always had that entertainer, bug inside of me.
I hear you, man. I think it definitely, I'm the same way. I started off with trumpet in elementary school, learned Chuck Mangione's, what was the song that came out at that time? It was a huge hit. It was one of the last ones, I think, was
Feels So Good was probably his biggest hit, yeah.
That's the one I learned. I still actually could play it. I gave up trumpet, became a bass player, so, because there's just such an art with the trumpet. It astounds me. And that's led you to some incredible things in your career. Obviously, you're one of the jazz greats that's making a way for the music here. But you started off with a few different groups, and War being one of them, which is one of the seminal funk R&B groups from the 70s. Where did you get your first professional start, and how did that lead into all these other great opportunities?
I moved to Los Angeles when I left college when I was in my junior year. I left at the end of my junior year at the Eastman School of Music, and I drove out to Los Angeles as part of a band called Oracle. And then we were signed to a record label named Chrysalis, and we were label mates with people like Blondie and Jethro Tull. And
I remember Chrysalis.
And then they also had us, a fusion band, playing all of these notes and multi-time signatures. And so we were kind of a misfit from the start, but we did put out a record that got some recognition, and the second one was not a very good record. But that was the start. And from there, it all kind of went in all kinds of different directions. I was a staff songwriter for Warner Chappell and Lorimar Music Publishing. They paid me a salary every year to write 12 songs and try to write a hit. I managed to write one hit with Kevin Cronin from REO Speedwagon, and that song went top 20.
What song was that?
It was called Here With Me. It was the only original song on their last hits CD back in, 80-something. 89 maybe.
Okay.
And so, I've done all kinds of things. And then, of course, I was playing in the bars, playing trumpet with different R&B bands, and that's where I met some people playing with different horn players who were playing with Rod Stewart and Tower of Power, and then an opening came up in Rod Stewart's band, and I got into that band and toured with Rod Stewart, and then went on and toured with Sade, and all kinds of different people.
You just made my heart go pitter patter when you said Sade, man. That's my biggest crush.
Yeah, well, she's a sweetheart. I mean, she was a lot of fun to tour with. And I was hired basically as a background singer, and because I was tall and I could sing, I got the gig.
Awesome.
The trumpet was probably the third thing on the list. Tall, able to sing, and plays trumpet. So that's how I got that gig.
That's great. So yeah, you've done those, and you were part of War, right? From what I read from the bio and everything. Is that correct?
I toured with War in 1982, and awesome. We toured the country, and that was an experience I'll never forget. In fact, my CD Beat Street is a lot of the songs on there are named after experiences and places and people. There's a song on there called Papa D, named after War's percussionist. D and I got to be very good friends, and he grew up in Wilmington, Delaware, and he grew up with Clifford Brown. So anybody who plays trumpet knows who Clifford Brown is,
Yeah.
So he would tell me Clifford Brown stories and all those long drives we took, and we got to be great friends. So I named the song Papa D, and then there's another song on that record called Club Harlem, which is named after a club in Atlantic City that we played at like 4 in the morning. So, so you know, I've had a pretty diverse career, and just grateful as can be that I'm able to. It was always my ultimate dream to have a solo career and to be able to get out there and do my own thing, and to have actually achieved it in my life is such a blessing, and I'm so grateful. You know.
Well, we're grateful that you're here. We've got about a minute left here, Rick. Your album is a return back to, Can You Feel It, is a return back to that funk R&B roots. Dr. Funkenstein was my favorite on the track on the album. What can people look forward to in that album if they haven't heard it yet?
Well, I mean, if you haven't picked up the record, in a nutshell, you just described it. It's getting back to that spirit of Beat Street. I replaced every piece of machinery that's on there with real people playing, and it's a very organic record. It's heartfelt. There's a lot of talent on that record. The people who are playing at every spot are some of the best musicians around anywhere. And I was also blessed to have so many of my friends be a part of it. I mean, Philippe Stace is on there again, Brian Culbertson, Dave Cause.
Yeah, great talent.
You know, Huge Groove is on there. There's a lot, and Jeff Lorber, I forgot to mention, and Jeff's nominated for a Grammy this year.
Yeah, I met Jeff at the NAMM show. Hey, we're a little out of time now, Rick. I just wanted to kind of give a plug to your New Year's Eve concert, because that's benefiting the Autism Society. Make sure you go to Rick Braun, NewYear'sEve.com to check that out. This is the Changing Stage radio show powered by WS Radio Networks. Rick, man, it's been a pleasure and honor. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful trip.
The Penske Automotive Group is one of the premier automotive retailers in the country, and we're proud to serve Southern California with 15 Penske Automotive dealerships. Our dealers are home to some of San Diego's best selection of new and certified pre-owned Acura, Audi, BMW, Honda, Lexus, Mazda, Mercedes-Benz, Mini, Scion, Smart, and Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Plus, we offer some of the most comprehensive parts and service departments in the automotive industry. At Penske Automotive Southern California, our commitment to customer service is second to none. We're never satisfied until you are. Located across San Diego, from Escondido to Mission Valley, no matter where you are in Southern California, a Penske Automotive dealer is never far away. We're never satisfied until you are. The Penske Automotive Group, Southern California. Go to PenskeAutomotive.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you're unique and targeting your message, improving your open rates. Amplify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. so we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit bizvidcommunications.com to see what we can do for you. BIZVID communications.com.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
That's right. It's the third segment of the Changing Stage radio show, powered by WS Radio Networks and brought to you by Music Power and Guitar Trader, who will be around for a little bit longer here with us. Great store, great people. We are coming off the second segment with Rick Braun, and he's going to be, again, to remind you folks, he will be at the Balboa Theater, I guess. I just got brain loss there. He will be there tonight. So make sure you go out and check out Rick Braun, and amazing player. He'll do some holiday classics, plus he'll do some stuff from his new album. And on this segment, though, we've got we've got a really special guest for us. And we always have special guests, right, Paul?
Right.
But this one's special because he's got my same haircut and everything. I was telling everybody that I was jealous of your goatee here. This is Dan Tucker. Dan, say hi, sir.
Hello, everybody.
So Dan is the owner and the maker of Tucker Guitars, which you're gonna have a hard time getting one of these out of here, man. Paul is, I think he's laying claim on your brother's guitar.
We have a Mr. Burns type trap door where you're sitting. I just have to push a button and the guitars are mine.
I tell you, my brother's been waiting that one for about 6 months for that thing.
6 months, 6 years, it's all the same. Anyway.
Exactly.
So Dan, you are these. I wish you folks will be able to see on our Facebook and the web stuff, but these guitars are amazing. They're beyond beautiful. They're really works of art, and Paul's going to be playing some on the second segment, and you guys were going to get a chance to hear a little bit of it. But I'd like to start off, Dan, with music, your passion. How did it lead to all of this, and you getting into making these wonderful pieces of guitar art?
That's a good question, and it started actually with my father. My dad is I'm a fifth generation San Diegan, so my dad was born and raised here, and his father, my grandfather, was a concert pianist.
Oh wow! Okay.
And he played piano.
These look nothing like a piano, by the way.
Yeah, but that's how it started, right? He played piano mainly by ear,
okay,
but he could pretty much play anything you heard, and so my dad grew up with that same influence. And just recently, my dad passed away several years ago, but just recently I was visiting my aunt. Thank you, I appreciate that. I was visiting my aunt, his sister, and she started telling me that she remembers when my dad was really young, as little as 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, that he was taking stuff apart. And he really upset my grandparents because he was taking like the TV apart and just figuring how to put stuff back together. And later on in life, as he grew up and then got married and had children, we always built stuff in the garage. I mean, that's what we did. If we wanted a scooter, we built it. I remember being probably 7, 8 years old, and my dad taught me how to weld. We used to have to take the stove out because that's what the 220 outlet was, right? And we had this cord that we'd claw under there and plug in the welder, and in the garage we'd be welding bicycle frames or things like that. And so working with our hands was a big deal, right? I'm
with you. Like my dad was exactly the same way. I wanted a chopper. I seen the ones with the chopper forks, back in the 70s and stuff. Right. You wanted to be like a Easy Rider, and he said, "I'll make you one of those." Big old long globule, but I'm with you, man. That's awesome.
So that's kind of where we grew up building things, working with our hands, and we built model airplanes, and we did all kinds of hobbies and stuff. And so, working with wood came into it. But then there was the music. My dad was in one of the first rockabilly bands in San Diego County. Back in the 50s, he played at some of the high school dances around town, and he was really big into it. He also was in mariachi bands. He played the bass.
Oh, wow.
And he played the requintos, and he played, sang. He was a wonderful singer. And my grandfather and him, they would always sing at family gatherings and at weddings. They were up there, people would just beg for him to sing because they were really good. And so we grew up playing music. And I remember my brothers, I'm the youngest of 4, and my older brother, Stephen, he passed away.
Oh.
He was, I think he had perfect pitch. He was like my grandfather. He could pretty much just hear something and play it. And my brother David is an outstanding guitar player. I mean, he's just an amazing guitar player, and he plays drums. And I wanted to be a drummer. And I remember going to my dad and saying, I want to be a drummer. And my dad kind of talked me into playing guitar, and he kind of said, you can play drums, and that's no problem. He goes, but a guitar, you can take it with you. You can go to the park. You can go over your girlfriend's house. You can take it with you, and you can. It's more of an accompaniment instrument. If you want to play drums, you said that's fine, but think about, where you go from there. So I thought about it. I was like, okay, I'll play guitar. So he gave me a guitar, and I started playing. And my brothers were already in a band. They were playing in the garage when they were just kids, little kids. And I have pictures of my cousin Jeff was a drummer, and my brother Stephen played guitar. My brother Dave played bass. And I mean, probably 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, and they were already playing music and having fun. So that's kind of how I grew up. So there's a combination of music throughout the house, and there was this woodworking, building stuff thing. And my dad did that till the day he passed away. In fact, when he died, he passed away in his shop behind his house building something.
Wow.
Yeah.
So those genes definitely carry deep, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, hey, and then you started playing guitar, right?
Correct.
Played in bands locally, I would assume.
Yeah, in high school I played in garage bands, of course. I'm very proud of our. I never had the hair, right? But I played in a hair band, right? I was always a guy with short hair, and I used to get teased by the guys. But yeah, I played in several bands through high school and after high school. In fact, in the 80s, we played at a show at Irvine Meadows one time that was pretty big and pretty fun. So,
that's awesome.
Back in the heyday,
Yeah, doing the hair band stuff.
Yeah, doing the hair band sting stuff.
That's awesome. So, you've done that. You've played. You come from a rich musical family, or a family of either rich or musical or both, combination, right? And some point with your creative building genes, you decided to make Tucker Guitars, or you started make a guitar, and then eventually became a company. Tell us about the history of how all of that came about.
I was always interested in electronics, and how that came about was my father was a ham radio operator, and Morse code and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we used to build ham radios in the garage. And so what he did was he taught me how to solder, and he had me building the circuit boards. When I was very young, I was soldering and building the circuit boards, and so I had this interest in electronics. So all through high school, I took the ROP classes, electronics theory, and I think my first work on guitars came in electronics. So even when I was a teenager, I used to take apart my guitars and rewire them, different pickups, different configurations, and that's kind of where I started. And then
help this man.
I'd be happy to help him out. And then I started doing it for friends. I'd have a friend and say, hey, my guitar is having this problem. Will you fix it? My guitar's having that problem. Will you fix it? So I grew up, and for years, I just did it for fun. I didn't really, do it for a job, right, or for making money. And then several years ago, I started doing it. Again, it was just for fun. I put a couple ads on Craigslist, whatever, and I started fixing guitars for people, and they were calling me, and it just started escalating. And then over the years, I built guitars for myself, what they call them, parts casters, right? I had a body, I had a neck, I had this, and I'd put them together and build them. And I sold a few of them to friends, and, just kind of escalated. And then one day I decided that I wanted to do it. I just wanted to build my own brand of guitars. So, a lot of people collaborated. I haven't done it all on my own. I have friends and family that have helped with the logo, helped with the design. It is an original body design. You won't won't see that anywhere. It's an original design, and the necks. The fact that this one right here that Paul was playing earlier, that's one of the first necks I ever made, and it's a lot thicker. It's a lot different. I mean, so basically what I'm saying is the instruments have evolved over time.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I've not lost sight of is the fact that I wanted something that was quality, and through getting phone calls from people and doing that repair work, I would have people bring some major name brand guitars to me, they just bought. They say, look, I just bought this, $1,500, whatever, and it doesn't play good, right? And so I would have to, I would file the frets down, I would do fret work on them, I would level them, I would adjust them, and I'd make them play good. And these folks are spending this money, then they're spending more money with me. And I'm thinking, look at the amount of money they're putting in this guitar. I know I can make something better. Right? I mean, I know I can compete on a quality basis with these major manufacturers, right? For whatever reason, they're saving costs. They have their business reasons for doing what they're doing, and I think that the quality of those guitars, some of those major brands, have come down. And so it's just sparked an idea. I can offer a customer a better quality instrument, better materials, and an original design. And so I really feel I can compete with them.
Yeah, and you know what? When we met with you over at the Guitar Trader, and you pulled out just the neck, you just had the neck there, and I think, Paul, what did you think about when you had your hand on the neck?
It felt great, and it was just gorgeous looking. The inlays, the pearl.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and for me, it was just the smoothness, the texture of it. I'm not a guitar player; I'm a bass player, as you know. But I'm
working on a bass, just so you know. Okay, I'm working on making a bass too.
Well, I buy more guitars than I buy basses usually. I buy and sell stuff, so as you can see with the amps and stuff like that. But it was amazing. That's to me the true artistry of a guitar is how does that neck feel? Because at the end of the day, that's where you can spend most of your time. Electronics, you can buy electronics, you can swap electronics, but that neck has to be really part of you. So I think that was the first thing I noticed. And then you brought these wonderful guitars in. We got about 30 seconds left. Can you tell people the URL and where they can get the guitars?
Absolutely, yeah. The website is www.tuckerguitarcompany.com, all one word. Right now, that's the only place you can get them is to go online. There's a form you can fill out where it says contact us. Fill it out, give me a call, I'll bring them out to you. You can demo them, you can come out to my shop, however you want to do it, and we can go that route.
And I think that's that personal touch, especially if you're here in San Diego. We've got quite a few listeners. We're obviously worldwide right now, but there's a number of listeners. And I just want to remind everybody to go out to see Rick Braun over at the Balboa concert facility. And we'll be back in a few short moments as the sponsors pay the bills. This is Florentino on the Changing Stage radio show, powered by WS Radio Networks and brought to you by Guitar Trader and MusicPower.com. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. Vin Village connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. Vin Village is where wine lovers connect.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
Are your feet hurting you? I mean really hurting you so much that you can't come to the fair and enjoy other activities with your friends? If so, you may have plantar fasciitis, a chronic inflammation of the connective tissues in the foot. I'm Holly Halsey. I'm a licensed acupuncturist, and I can help you with your pain. I invite you to visit me at my webpage, AccuSageHouseCalls.com. That's ACUSSAGE, housecalls.com. Find out what pain-free feels like.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at which.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, which.com.
To me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
That's right. This is the fourth and final segment for today of the Changing Stage radio show. My name's Florentino, and we are powered by WS Radio Networks, the #1 leader in Internet Talk Radio, and brought to you by MusicPower.com and Guitar Trader. And we've been on the third segment with Dan Tucker, who has been showing us kind of the history of what he kind of led him to making these wonderful guitars. We're actually going to talk about the guitars now, Dan.
Sounds good.
You ready to kind of show some of your babies here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome,
Definitely.
awesome. So you brought 3 guitars. One of them is personally yours. It's not something that someone would buy.
That's correct.
You kind of did a little Bruce Springsteen Telecaster kind of thing with it. But the other 2 are definitely their own. I mean, completely their own. They're still classic in their looks and feel, but you can tell that they're not emulating or copying any other guitar. You've given them a soul, a character, if you will. So let's start off with the one closest to Paul here, because he's going to be jamming around. By the way, Paul Berezesky, my guitar player in Curbside Vinyl, also the show producer and guitar player extraordinaire who played the guitar track in our intro. he's going to be doing some stuff. We'll let him do what he does best, wail away on a guitar.
Yes, that's a good sounding guitar there.
That is. Going through a Mesa Boogie F50 amp.
That guitar is special to me because when I told my brother I was considering, building guitars, the first thing my brother said to me, his name's David, he goes, I want #1. And, he wanted the first guitar I ever built. And I kind of had that already planned for my daughter, right? I was building one for my daughter. And so I said, okay, so I'll give you the first one I finish, but serial number 001 goes to my kid, right?
Yeah.
And so he's okay with that. So that really is the first complete package where the neck and the body and everything was built all original, by me. And it is my brother's. I haven't sent it to him yet because I've been using it for demos and things like that. And it was entered in the Del Mar Fair's woodworking exhibit last year.
Yeah.
So that one and then the other one here, you see, they both placed. This one won first place out of all of California.
Wow.
And that one that Paul's playing won third place. So
awesome.
So what it is it's original body design, semi-hollow body. So it has a really nice resonant tone to it. The top is made out of walnut, a book-matched piece of walnut. The back is basswood.
Wow.
And the neck is solid
That's what makes
maple.
it lighter, right?
It makes it lighter. That's correct. So, when you have a light guitar, sometimes they get head heavy. So the center of that is solid wood all the way through the core, and that gives a little weight to it, so it's more balanced.
So you get the balance.
So it's not head. You don't want a head heavy instrument when you're on stage. Exactly. So I think it's a real balanced instrument. I went ahead and put some Seymour Duncan slash pickups in there because I think they're really smooth sounding pickups, and they sound great with a hollow body guitar, a semi hollow body guitar. And then the most unique thing about that is electronics. It has a built-in analog delay, which takes us back to the 70s, and it's the way it sounds.
Wow,
Actually,
that's pretty
yeah.
cool. Flip that on right now.
Yeah, make it funk it up, Paul.
Sounds great. And you can do anything from a 50s slapback reverb all the way to a full 20 millisecond delay. And Paul has it said right now with a little kind of a little bit of reverb.
I'm going to jump in. I think that's exceptionally smart because, Paul is, you've seen that he's a pedal head over there. He loves pedals, and I think his delays when he's doing that, he's always going back and forth to it.
Right.
If the delay's on the guitar,
just do it right on board. Change the timing. That's great.
Exactly. And if you notice the on-off switch, when I played, where I placed it was strategic. I didn't just throw a switch on the guitar. I placed it in a place where you're not going to hit it when you're playing, but if you do, you're going to turn it off and not on because the way it's positioned, you're going to hit it down, which will turn it off.
Yeah.
So you're never going to turn it on by accident. Turning it off is not a big deal. If you're playing live, you can just flick it back on real quick.
Yeah.
But if you're playing something where you don't want it to come on and it hits on, that's a different issue. So it was placed there for a strategic reason. And then if you look at the neck of that guitar, there's a ebony yellowfin tuna inlaid.
I was going to say, what's up with the tuna?
My brother's a big fisherman, right? He owns a big fishing boat, a sport fisher, loves fishing. And a couple years ago, we entered a national fishing contest called the Poco Bueno. It's a biggest tournament in southern Texas, and we won the largest tuna category.
Oh wow!
And so, my brother's retiring, and so I that was designed and inlaid in there as a gift for him because he's a tuna fisherman, and plus you've never seen anything like that before, right? I thought it was cool. Came out a lot better than I thought it would. It really looks good, and so
So what's the name of the guitar? Big Fish.
The Big Fish. We'll call it the Big Fish. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It sounds great. It plays great. It's got my first generation neck, I call it, because it's a little fatter. I have small hands, so I kind of prefer a thinner neck. And basically, when I make a guitar, I try to make what I like, right? Yeah. And I'm a real fan of the 80s guitar necks that were a little bit thinner and flatter, like a 12-inch to 14-inch radius on the fretboard. And that's kind of, but customers want different things. So I'm trying to find a balance between a thicker neck like that one that has a more radius neck. That's like a 10-inch radius. And this one over here has a 12-inch radius and it's a little bit thinner neck. And I just want to listen to the customers, and whatever they want is what they're going to get. But,
you can customize it to their flavor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's no problem. So they give them a few options.
Awesome. So Paul, play just a little solo on that one, and let's switch to the other guitarist.
Nice. Sounds good, Paul.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now we've talked about the Big Fish. Do you have different names? I mean, like model names or numbers for these?
It's based on the body style, right? So this body style is pretty much the same. The only difference between this one and the Big Fish is that one is a carved top. So if you look at it, it's got a very subtle carved top to it, and the other one's a flat top.
Okay.
So they're called the Giant Tone Series.
Okay.
That's what I call them. So the Tucker Guitar Company Giant Tone Series.
Nice. So tell us a bit about this one. This one has a different pickup setup.
Yeah, this guitar is actually won first place at the Del Mar Fair. And at the Del Mar Fair, the judges don't just look at them. They actually bring a guitar player in to play them.
Oh, wow.
A musician in to play them. So it wasn't just how it looks, because it's beautiful, right? That piece of mahogany that the top was made out of is, it was just beautiful, and it's probably 50 years old, that piece of wood the top was made out of. And so when we designed it, we made the top a little bit thicker so we could do a carved top, right? Because basically the center's flat, it tapers to the edges. And the back of it's made out of ash. And I've always been fond of the ash Stratocasters from the 70s, right? I thought they had a really good, nice weight to them and a good tone to them. So we kind of mixed the best part of a Les Paul, which is the mahogany, right, with the best part of a Strat, in my opinion, which is the ash. We combined those two. And then when I made the neck for it, I made a nice flat neck, 12-inch radius neck. And if you look at the back of the neck, Paul, if you can hold that up and show them the back of the neck. Now, that is highly figured flame maple. Do you see the back of the neck?
That's what that was like. What the
one I showed you at the store, right? Yeah. It's highly figured flame maple,
and you got the locking tuners there.
Yeah, locking tuners. I use hip shot tuners. Those are real high quality products.
Yeah. I just noticed the purling lights on the volume knobs.
Yeah, I put those on there to match the abalone inlays on the neck.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there's abalone on dot inlays, and there's also abalone on the control knobs. I thought it looked really cool, kind of bring everything together. And then I put EMGs in that guitar, and I put EMGs in the guitar because they're very clean. And you can hear every note, and a lot of guys love them. Especially if they're going to do some shredding, they're going to do some, some more heavier playing.
We plugged it in through the Randall RVC, which will give us that. That's why Paul's doing the distortion sound without blowing us out of the room.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, one of these little 10-watt or 5-watt 10-inch amps. So, yeah. Oh, wow. It sounds like we're out of time here. Didn't realize that.
It went by fast.
It went by real quick. Well, folks, thank you very much for tuning into the Changing Stage radio show powered by WS Radio Networks and brought to you by MusicGuitar.com and Guitar Trader. Thank you, Dan, for coming out.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Everyone go out and see Rick tonight at the Balboa Theater.
Progressive Medical.
Hey, this is Heidi Rue, and Progressive Medical Center has literally changed my life and my health, but I'm not the only one. Adele suffered from bone deterioration, bone overgrowth, profound muscle discomfort, physical exhaustion, and mental fog. In fact, the bone deterioration becomes so serious that she had to have back surgery. Well, after the surgery, she still didn't feel well, and so that's when she heard about Progressive Medical Center. Progressive Medical Center discovered that her adrenals weren't working properly, her hormones were out of whack, and the drugs she had been taking were doing more harm than good. Adele came into Progressive Medical Center in a walker, physically and mentally exhausted. But now she's a world traveler. She hikes and walks several miles a day, and it's all thanks to Progressive Medical Center. 770-676-6000. 770-676-6000.
Progressive Medical. This is your life. Live it well.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Hey, do you want a great price on a new or used car? Hi, this is professional racing driver Don Swanson, and I know a thing or two about cars. I'm talking about Military Auto Center, San Diego's original and only automotive warehouse where low overhead means low prices on your next vehicle. Stop by and experience a friendly and casual way to discuss your car needs. They're located conveniently at 9323 Activity Road. You can call them at 858-831-7887 or online at militaryautocenter.com. We'll see you there.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.